not do that again. Even for you. I'm the only one who knows that. At least I'm the only one with the will to act on it.
The Mad Titan Podcast with your host, Jay Washington.
What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It is episode 55 of the Mad Titan Podcast with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. Jay Washington. What is going on, people? I am doing this a little bit different than what I normally would do. Now, I am actually streaming this episode live as I'm filming it through my YouTube channel, youtube.com/JAYWashington80. And I'm going to be able to engage with the people there. And for those who are listening to it later, you can maybe even just watch the visual replay. It's really just my black ass sitting here in front of a camera. But I wanted to do something different because of the times in which we are living in. As everyone is calling it now, a new normal. We're in a day and age where COVID-19, this global pandemic, has swept them all abroad, and it has forced a lot of us in our homes. There are stay-at-home orders, shelter-in-place orders, mandated quarantines and lockdowns in many places. And so now we're all trying to figure out how to adapt with the situations. We are all trying to get through this. You know, a lot of people say we're all in this together, which I literally think is a bunch of bullshit because we're not. Because the main people you see saying we're all in this together are people in multi-million-dollar mansions. You have full entertainment systems. You have basketball courts, full theaters, everything you want in your crib. You're great. I'm not denying that you worked hard for what you have, but you're on a different level than those of us who don't have that. Those of us who have lost jobs, even people nowadays who have lost loved ones, which my heart and deep felt condolences go out to each and everybody who has lost a loved one throughout this trying time. Okay, so while you're listening to this live and while you're listening to this later on your podcast feed, if you listen to it through Apple, Spotify, Google Play Music, wherever you're listening from, streamlabs.com/JAYWashington80. I'm taking your questions. So if I'm getting them live through Streamlabs, you'll get them there. And if I get them after the show, they'll be added to next week's show. And I know it has been a bit hectic. I know I should have been on here more. I know I should have been doing it. And I apologize. And again, I will not use it's a global pandemic excuse that should allow me to be able to forego what I consider my responsibilities and my duties. And one of my duties is coming to all the people who check me out weekly, who check out the Mad Titan Podcast, who rock with your boy, who love and appreciate what I do by giving you all the info and the gossip and the juice and the tea with all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universe, which, by the way, if you are new to this, that is what we do here. Get you caught up with everything happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. This is barbershop talk for nerds. So shit gets real around here. Also, for those who are watching me live, you will literally see me looking from the camera to one screen to the next. Like, I literally have all this going my damn self. So shouts out to everybody I see in the chat right now on YouTube. Shouts out Joe Thunder, IMAX, Rudy Rueda, Gallegos, and Corey Richmond. Appreciate all of you guys for being there in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it so much for rocking with me. Okay, now I normally kick everything off I got here with my Marvel news, but I think I got to kick it off with something before I go into all that. So this is something what I've been doing. So I've been, of course, like everybody else, streaming every damn thing, right? I got tired of the normal Netflix, Hulu, and even Amazon Prime. So I jumped back over to Disney Plus. Yeah, that's still a thing, right? And it wasn't just to watch the MCU, because I've done that. You know, I've seen all the 23 movies many times. Like, I can see them again, yes, with no problem, but I don't feel like it's necessary unless I need it for a reason. But what I did start restreaming, y'all, was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, the cartoon from 1981, which included Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar, right? And I've been watching like numerous episodes. I think I'm on season 1. I think they only had one full season, but I'm on like episode 13 or something like that. And every episode I've started to notice that it's like a friendly competition without a competition for Bobby Drake, aka Iceman, and Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, to try to get up with Firestar. Now, here's the thing. Firestar ain't paying neither one of these niggas no attention. Like, they be trying to shoot their shots low key, but then Firestar be like, well, I got a date, so I got to get ready. And they just sitting there looking like, so we just going to twiddle our thumbs and hope some shit happen in New York. I was watching one episode and Bobby Drake and Peter Parker were talking. They were in their gimmicks. They were Iceman and Spider-Man, and then Bobby Drake was telling Peter, he was like, yo, you really like it. Why don't you shoot your shot? He's like, because I know I can't shoot my shot because, fire and ice don't mix together. And here's the problem. Me being the person I am, I was like, nigga, have you seen Game of Thrones? Not thinking that wouldn't come till 30 years later. You know what I'm saying? Also, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was done by Marvel Productions before there was a Marvel Studios. It was still Marvel Comics. They had all the properties. There was no sell-off then, right? Every time they say the word mutant, I'll be like, oh, they said it, because I've been so pre-programmed over the past 10, 11 years to, in Marvel, not hear the word mutant, right? And now that we know Marvel owns everything, damn, except for the Sony properties, it's like you can hear the word, but I'll be like, oh shit, they said mutant. And I just find myself freaking the hell out over that. So I just wanted to bring that up. If you have not checked it out on Disney Plus, I highly recommend you do. Also, you can get a free trial if you want to. But let me go back to the news I want to kick it off with. Like I said, I normally kick it off with Marvel news, and then I go into DC news, and if I have any questions, callers, and all that other good stuff. I also am going to put the StreamYard link in the chat in YouTube. So this will be, if you are listening to it, this will be after the fact, unfortunately. But for those listening to it live, the StreamYard link will be going in the chat so you all can engage this live as this is happening. Like, I've done this, not streaming before, but I've done this, the podcast live in Chicago, my hometown. I've done it live in Salt Lake City. And so I want to bring it to other cities. And so I want to interact with it online. But look, one of the biggest things that brings all of us together in the nerd world are Comic-Cons, and that's been the biggest thing. Our fandoms, no matter what they are, from Marvel, DC, Star Trek, Star Wars, anime, whatever they may be, they bring us together. And San Diego Comic-Con is the biggest amongst them. By the way, this weekend was supposed to be WonderCon in Anaheim. Easter weekend was supposed to be WonderCon, which is currently not happening due to the situation. Well, as of right now, and as of this recording, WonderCon is still, San Diego Comic-Con is still on as of this recording. However, it is being reported they are more than likely waiting to make the announcement when they're going to cancel, because not only with the situation going on, and it might possibly be cleared up before June. It depends on the cities and the situations. It all depends. It varies. We do know this. But they are housing many homeless people throughout the convention center, many of which they don't know have or have not contracted COVID-19. They also would have to do a thorough and deep decontamination that would not take one day. So it is possible that it will be canceled, being San Diego Comic-Con. But the organizers are looking to going online with it, which brings up the next topic I wanted to talk about. There are now numerous online Comic-Cons, internet-based Comic-Cons, virtual Comic-Cons, if you will, happening this year to offset somewhat the loss of the interactions that everyone would get with the con season. I myself will be participating in Mainframe Comic-Con. It is going down April 25th, 26th. It is being sponsored. My buddy Chuck Lindsay and the Chumpcast and all of them, they put the booth together, Chuckload of Comics at C2E2 back in Chicago, and had me out there to do an episode of Mad Science Podcast, and I was grateful for that. And so they asked me to be a part of it, to do some interviews, and I'm going to wait till the schedule sets up and see who I'm going to interview, but I'm glad to be a part of it. There's another one, my buddy Bernie Bergman of X-Levelant. They're putting together that, and along with Collider, former employee in Pleasant Places, the virtual fan experience. And so it is dope that these things are happening virtually, but it's kind of weird, that I get we want to celebrate our fandom, but I think for a lot of people, the biggest thing is cosplay and seeing each other and the camaraderie. And again, yeah, I know some people like, well, Jay, the situation that motherfucker, I know. You know what I'm saying? I get what we're going through right now. I completely understand. I'm not going to take away from it by any means or any stretch of the imagination. But there is something about that. There's something about going to cons and being in an environment and talking to people and the people you might see in TV shows and movies. If you do, you might nerd out on the same shit with them. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a dope experience. And so but I understand now bringing it into our homes, into our living rooms, into our bedrooms, into our telephones and things like that is going to be something different this year. Because unfortunately, as much as we would want for at least New York Comic-Con to still happen, I really think that probably won't happen. I think Comic-Cons all around for 2020 are pretty much a wash. And it is due to, in part, the utilization of these convention centers. It is not going to, you don't want them to hurry up and try to quote unquote decontaminate it. Now, granted, if you've heard the lifespan of the virus in different situations, people say it's airborne via droplets. So that's water, snot, spit, shit like that, saliva. Now, it's not just in the air where you walk outside, open your window, you breathe and you die, stuff like that. That's not the case. That's not how this works. But it does, they say, can stay on metal up to like 12 hours. Now, also, I know people have brought up, and I know I don't want to bring the situation down, but I'm just putting all this shit out here for everybody because of everything that affects us in this world. Anybody who knows me, you know I keep shit A100 with you. So when it comes to the world of conventions, people are like, well, what about stuff that's been sitting and lingering and stuff like that? There's also a bigger issue too. Well, not a bigger issue, basically the thing you need to realize: heat. Yes, the convention center will get cool when it has people in it, but as it heats, that helps kill the virus. The virus cannot live in the cold. It has an oily base, not a rubber base. It's all this other scientific shit. I was doing some research, actual research on that, right? You know, a lot of people don't fucking know how to do. You know, they say they do research. You be like, yo, what research you do? And they put up some random ass YouTube link. You be like, slap the shit out you. I hate you so much. Like, I hate everything that you stand for. People make me sick sometimes. But nonetheless, I'm a kick. So I've talked about some of these things on my own stream. I will say that ahead of time. I talked about some of these things on my own stream. I've talked about some of these things on Blurs in the Hood. And I've also kept it a little bit bridged each time. But I'm going to talk about it in the way I fully want to talk about it now, because that's what we do here on the Mad Side. So my Marvel news, you already know Black Widow has moved from May 1st, which sucked. I really thought it was going to hold on to glory. And I knew it wasn't going to Disney Plus. Some people thought it was going to release on Disney Plus. I was like, they're not releasing a blockbuster film on Disney Plus like this. They want this money back. And I think would people pay the $20 for it the way they were paying for the Invisible Man, Sonic, and other movies? More than likely. But it's been pushed back, right? And with its pushback, like I said before, it shook up the whole MCU lineup. Now, if you didn't hear what I said before, here's how it shook it up. It's crazy. It shook it up theatrically. First of all, Black Widow goes from May 1st to November 6th, which now, depending on the situations, may still be in question. But as of now, November 6th is Black Widow's Day. That was the Eternals. So you got the Eternals moving, Shang-Chi moving, Doctor Strange moving, Thor moving, Black Panther 2 moving, Captain Marvel 2, all that. That's the movies. But it also affects the Disney Plus shows. So again, granted, damn near everything has stopped. And I say damn near because there are still productions going on. They have been extremely careful and extremely cautious, but there's shit still going on. So all this moves, all this shifts. Now the MCU shows have to shift because, again, these are 8-hour movies, in some cases, 6-hour movies that are essential to the next plot point. And you can't just drop them anywhere. Like, you can't do no dumb shit like that. You can't just say, oh, well, fuck it. You know, if the movie ain't coming out, let's just move this over here. And let's just shift this over there. Nah, you don't do that. Like, that's not how this works at all. So, I mean, that's shaking all of that up, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I just wanted to bring that up. Something else I didn't get a chance to talk about. Ant-Man 3 has a writer officially, and its writer is Jeff Loveness, who is a writer and co-producer on Rick and Morty, which means if you thought this movie was weird as fuck before, oh, it's going to be amazing how weird it gets. And the reason it's going to get weird is because also Paul Rudd has had a hand in writing some of this, okay? If you didn't pay attention in the end credits of Ant-Man and the Wasp, his name's in it. I think his name is in it in Ant-Man as well. He's got a hand in writing 3. With him having a hand in writing 3, this may be the way they introduce MODOK. Now, I have to bring that up because if you remember, MODOK was set to get an animated series on Hulu. And seemingly none of that shit's happening because now there's no more Marvel Television as we once knew it. Everything is now integrated into Marvel Studios as a whole, which currently is shut down. And unfortunately, Disney and them are about to furlough like about 30,000 workers or so. I saw in the email. I probably will get the exact number for you guys. But yeah, so MODOK was supposed to have his own series, and that is not happening. 43,000 workers Disney is set to furlough. Now, furlough means you still stay on your medical benefits, your health benefits, and your vision and dental, but you don't get paid. So you're employed, but not employed. Okay. I have buddies who are cops in Chicago, and they are furloughed regularly. So it is nothing. Unfortunately, the timing of what all this is sucks, but it does happen. It does happen. But again, MODOK could show up in the third movie, and there's a potential. A potential. Now, don't guarantee it. Don't quote me on this one. This is one of the ones you don't quote me on. You quote me on a lot of other shit when I tell y'all to quote me, but don't quote me on this one. There's a potential MODOK could be Cerny Burgess, played by Walton Goggins, his benefactor. Remember his boss that we never saw? We never knew who he was talking to. We just knew he was connected with the FBI dude in Ant-Man and the Wasp. We didn't know who was the dude, fronting the bill, and knew everything about quantum stuff. Like remember, he knew what the component was. Why did I have a hard ass time trying to figure out that word? I don't know. He knew what the component was. So it could be MODOK. So you never know. So it'll be really interesting and dope. Let me go in the chat real quick for those. Jack's Packet says, as a fan of villains, which you are, do you think Thanos could have went a different route as opposed to universally wiping out half of existence? I'll hold that question till later when I get to the full questions, because that's a good question, and I got a thought on that. Shouts out Kendall's Daisy, and shouts out Rudy Rueda, who's one of my Supervillain Squad patrons, who says, I got to go, Jay, but have a good stream. Looking forward to the rest of the episode when it drops. Thank you so much, Rudy. I appreciate you. It should be dropping tonight, to be honest. I'll be editing this because it's just me doing all this shit. But back to MODOK. He could be that. Also, they're talking that Ant-Man 3 can potentially be the jump off for the Young Avengers. Because, of course, we're now 5 years in the future, which is going to be crazy. We're going to be even further in the future because now they don't have to play with real time anymore. Because remember, for the longest, we were supposedly with the MCU in real time how things were happening. Now with the jump and everything else, we don't have to be. But Cassie being older is a part of that, which also could tie into bringing Kate Bishop from Hawkeye into the series. Instead of doing the West Coast Avengers or the New Avengers, bring a part of the Young Avengers. So again, reasons you would have to wait on that. Now, when I brought up the movies moving in the MCU schedule, one of the movies that didn't get listed that now Disney owns is the New Mutants. And of course, the New Mutants in theaters is a fucking curse word. That is something that will never happen. It's not going to happen. It's just, I believe they should drop it on just video on demand, probably on Hulu, make people pay for it, pay $5 and get it out the way. I understand Disney wants to get money. This isn't even Fox recouping losses or anything. This is just Disney like, yo, we can get some money out of this. Let's just do it. And I'm like, all right, I guess. But so New Mutants doesn't have a date. Mulan, at the same time, when everything got reshuffled by Disney and they started giving out new dates, Mulan eventually got a new date. The New Mutants doesn't have a date. It just never will. The New Mutants is like that ugly kid in high school who never can get a date, but by the time they get a date, they're grown and people regret it. But I don't think anybody will regret it in this situation. And I probably should have used a better fucking analogy. Either way, New Mutants will not be coming out in theaters. It's just not going to happen, okay? So there's also news of the runtime of New Mutants. Now, check this shit out. According to Josh Boone, who's the film's director, who believes in the first cut that supposedly a lot of people didn't like, and that's the one we get in the theaters or whenever it comes out. All right. So the longest X-Men movie is X-Men Ivan Ooze, which ran at 144 minutes, right? Now, 2000 X-Men and 2006 X The Last Stand was pretty long. Was not that long, okay? The New Mutants, the whole movie, beginning to end, to the credits, all that shit, 94 minutes. 94. An hour, 34 minutes. 9-4. If that ain't a way of telling y'all, all right, can y'all just go and watch this, go home and just get out of here and just, all right, make the blow easy when you tell us what you think of this. That's how I feel like, yo, this movie's just like, just get done. Now, again, 2000 X-Men and 2006 X-Men The Last Stand were 104 minutes. So only 10 minutes longer. But X-Men in 2000 was great. X-Men 2006 wasn't shit. I don't understand why anybody thinks or believes we need to see the New Mutants in theaters. I don't know. Also, streamlabs.com/JAY Washington 80. Streamlabs.com/JAY Washington 80. If you want to guarantee me to see your question, I'm going to do it there. And then again, I'll go through the super chats on YouTube and everything. So just so you know that. But yeah, I don't know why people keep believing that the New Mutants is actually going to come out. I don't know why people keep thinking that's a good thing to happen. That doesn't ever sound like a good thing. When I was excited for, so let me always say this, like I say, and preface it. I was always excited for this movie when I heard what it was going to be. A mutant horror movie. I was like, yes, let's do it. I heard the cast. I'm here for it. We got that first trailer. I was like, dear Lord, sweet baby Jesus. After we got the numerous pushbacks and the supposedly reshoots that couldn't be reshot because of Maisie Williams' schedule on Game of Thrones, then we got the trailer and I was like, yo, I'm here for this. Let's go. Then we got another trailer. I was like, all right. Then we got a pushback and I was like, well, is this really gonna happen? Is this really gonna be a thing? That's how I felt. And now we don't have a date, but now it's 94 minutes. It's 94 minutes. It's going to be one of those movies you go see and you're just like, all right, I did it. I said this before on Blurs in the Hood. I've said it in conversation. I've said it even here on the podcast. I've said it many different times. By the time New Mutants comes out, Maisie Williams will potentially be grown, married with children. If you want to use that as an analogy and a comparison, she would potentially be grown, married with kids. All right. So James Gunn has been dropping a lot of gems about Guardians of the Galaxies 1 and 2, Volume 1 and 2. But he dropped this one about Volume 2 in an alternate scene that had me crying because I was laughing so hard when I read it. And then I was like, shit, I wanted to see this. So according to James Gunn, there's an alternate scene in Volume 2 where Rocket Raccoon dropping hella F-bombs. So this is what he says. He revealed that he had a footage of Rocket Raccoon releasing a series of fricks after he and Groot bid farewell to Yondu. He says, this is what Gunn says, quote, I do have footage of Rocket flying away with baby Groot after saying, he said, welcome to the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy. Only he didn't say frickin', and then he flies away and turns to baby Groot irritated and says, we're going to have a serious talk about your language. Fuck this and fuck that. Everything's fuck all the time. I swear for Christ, James Gunn, if you're watching this, please send me a private link to it where I just need a password. I just want to see this scene. All right, yo, Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon is fucking hysterical. We know this. I would love to see Bradley Cooper just looking at a CGI tree and hearing Vin Diesel, who probably was in the booth in a baby seat because he was a baby then, going and Groot, like, because he wants to really be method. The man bought stilts for the first time to play Groot. He bought fucking stilts. Yes, Vin Diesel, Mark Vincent bought stilts to do the fucking first time of Groot. What store did he go in that was about to close? It was finna go out of business. Like, it had been a family business. Like, there was an older man. He looked at his wife and kids and was like, family, today is going to be the hardest day ever. We're going to close up and we're just not moving stilts like we used to. The circus isn't coming around. They've really been going through things, and I don't just see many people who just want to walk on them. People are now YouTubing how to make their own stilts, and they don't need these stilts here anymore. And I wanted to pass the stilts down to you all as a legacy. And I'm going to close up, and it gets 5 o'clock, and he's about to put the gate up, and all of a sudden a light shines in, the doorbell chimes, and in walks Vin Diesel saying, stilts, do you have stilts? And the man looks at his family and says, we're saved. I really believe that's what fucking happened. I really do. I really do. Taika Waititi, who has been a great director, an amazing actor, was playing with the fans' emotions, myself included. So, this is what Taika did. Taika shared a fake script page from Thor: Love and Thunder that featured Tony Stark's return. Yeah, you heard me. This is what's in the script. Thor goes, "You're back." Tony says, "In the sack, baby." Thor goes, "But how? I saw you die." Tony said, "Science. Also, Thanos is back." Tony, Thor, excuse me, mother frigger. So we're assembling again. Tony, again, it's go time. So then the script reveals that Iron Man's new armor is covered in the flags of the world before Tony makes a bold proclamation about what's to come next. Tony says, "Everyone who died is coming back. And this time we're avenging even more than ever. From now on, we'll be known as the Avengerers." Here's the thing. That sounds like it could be real as shit. That sounds like something that could actually happen. That sounds like something I could see Taika Waititi like, all right, let's film this whole scene and then we'll go from there. Let's film this whole scene and yeah, let's get Robert Downey Jr. to do it and it'll be great. It'll be freaking great. And I thought it was real too. And then I realized it's Taika Waititi and it's more than likely not. I just put the StreamYard link in the YouTube chat, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to join in and stream in the conversation via StreamYard, the link is in the chat if you're listening to it. Again, the StreamYard link will probably be non-active by the time you guys hear it, so I'm sorry. I tried to blast this out as much as I can. Granted, it was on a 2 hours notice when I was like, yo, let's just do this, all right? And in my last bit of Marvel news, comedian Ronnie Chang has supposedly been added to the cast of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Yo, the way they are stacking this cast, the crew, and everything, I'm so excited. And if anything, I'm excited about the level of representation that's about to happen in the MCU with this film. This is so dope on so many levels. This is so amazing. Like, if you're going to go this route, you go all the way through. And that's what Marvel Studios is doing. And Kevin Feige, man. And it is so dope. It is so damn dope, man. Let's go to my DC news real quick. Director Matt Reeves has talked about the Batman. Of course, he is not filming. Everything is on shutdown because of COVID-19. And a lot of things are supposed to happen. Now, currently, before they were filming in London and they were supposed to move to Liverpool, but because the UK is on a lockdown, that's not happening. So when he gave an update to Deadline, though, he said exactly how much work has been completed on the film thus far. He says, "We're not officially editing right now. We've actually shot a quarter of the movie, and I've been pouring through dailies, looking at takes at what's to come." So they've been filming. So a good quarter of the movie's done, which is not bad. He was also asked if his movie was inspired and paid homage to Frank Miller's Batman Year One or The Flying Graysons. He laughed and said, "I can't give you any answers to that. I can't give you the answers to any of that," which more than likely it's not. And also, so this is the biggest part. Everybody's wondered about changes to the character, right? Everybody wonders anytime these characters are brought back to life and through different iterations, what changes are going to happen. And yeah, because for some reason, everything changes. But this is what he said. "It took me 2 years to work on that story. And it's a very specific mystery noir that's been really thought out by me and my partners. The one thing he is reconsidering, though, is the tone of things." Excuse me. "It happens anytime you shoot anything, the unexpected, happy accidents and things you didn't quite expect. That is lightning in a bottle for something that is alive. I would say that the changes really have to do with, seeing the tone of this with these things we haven't done, which connect to part of the storyline. It feels like there might be an opportunity to explore some of that unexpected tone that we found. With these movies, you never have enough prep time because they're so complex and so enormous in so many ways. It also gives me a moment to think about the larger sequences that have yet to come up and how I want to realize those." So I don't think anybody can take this by any means as that he is changing the story, that he is changing the character. I believe it means that Matt Reeves has a story plan, that Warner Brothers, DC, and pretty much the writers were like, all right, cool, this is a go, this is what we're doing. And now it's just got to be executed. And of course, it can't be executed at the time because of the COVID-19 situation. So, and plus, I also believe this movie is in great hands. Yo, I think I'm one of many people, when we heard that Matt Reeves is the director of the Batman, like, yo, everybody was good and on board. Shouts out to Chi-Town Pyro who dropped on the Streamlabs. I appreciate you, bro. He says, supporting you, bro. Keep up the grind. Thank you so much, man. If you want to support and show some love, streamlabs.com/JAY Washington 80. I appreciate you. Thank you. What's happening, Alberto Rios? What's happening, Star Drew? What's happening, Jenna James, Keena Wiltz? I will get to all of you guys. That question you got, Keena Wiltz, I will get to it in a second as we are in DC news now. Suicide Squad director David Ayer gave his thoughts on Harley Quinn as a character in the movies. Now, listen to this. He says that Harley Quinn's story arc was eviscerated for political reasons. Now, he took to Twitter after a fan said this. Harley was sexualized in the entire Suicide Squad movie, and in Birds of Prey, she was a real character, not an eye candy. David Ayer retweeted that with a comment that said, sadly, her story arc was eviscerated. It was her movie in so many ways. Look, I tried. I rendered Harley comic book accurate. Everything is political now. Everything. I just want to entertain. I will do better. Okay, I don't know personally how to take it. Like, to an extent, he has a point. He does. To an extent, we don't allow filmmakers, creative eyes to be creative, to do certain things, to have a plan. We always just tend to look at it in one direction about one thing. And I get it. The Harley Quinn we know that many people have come to know and love was the Harley Quinn from Batman the Animated Series in the One Piece. We got it. But then you have to make adaptations for the real world. So a lot of people forget that. And then the adaptations don't go the way people think they should go. And it's like, again, allow creative freedom. If they're not trying to impede on anything or diminish or belittle anybody, I don't get it. Because again, for me, Harley Quinn was sexy in Suicide Squad. Yes. But she also was a badass. She was batshit crazy and a badass. Like, there's no denying that. Like, I had a problem with Margot Robbie changing her voice like 19,000 times. Like 19,000 times. I had a problem with it. But at the same time, it's like they made her look well. Granted, the storyline of Suicide Squad changed a bit and whatnot, but it is what it is, man. So, I mean, we'll see. So Superman and Lois, the upcoming DC series that will feature Superman, that will follow Superman, Lois, and their two sons now, has casted Emmanuel Chikri from Entourage as Lana Lang and Eric Valdez from Graceland as Kyle Cushion, her husband. So that was a casting announcement. Shouts out to the DCEU, still going strong. Just wanted to make sure I brought that up. I saw this question in the chat. I'm going to bring it up to people who are watching it right now. What do you think about the Ezra Miller situation? Shouts out to Keena Wiltz, who's always been a big supporter, big fan, has always held me down. I appreciate you, bro. To the person trying to stream in, I got you. I see you. I will definitely have you in a moment. All right, I'll bring you in a second. What do I think about it? Well, I talked about this situation on Blurs in the Hood. I talked about it with Winston. So I'm going to see if I still got it. I'm going to pull it up for those who probably haven't seen it here in the chat. Where is it? Well, okay, that's 21 Savage. I don't want y'all seeing that shit ever again. Y'all don't need to see that at all. It's somewhere around here. I'll find it. But nonetheless, so if you've seen a video with Ezra Miller, Ezra is seen supposedly choking a female fan. And it literally goes, it's literally him going, you want to fight? You want to fight? But the way you see it and hear it, it seems very playful. It seems like a by the numbers, half speed thing, like Winston and I were talking about on Blurs in the Hood. For me as an actor, I know when you do any type of action scenes, action sequences, you have to go number by the numbers, bit by bit. This is what's going to happen here. This side's going to go there. When I go down this way, I turn that way. All these different things play into consideration, right? So it literally looks like that. It literally looks like that. I mean, granted, the dude who was holding the camera is like, hey, hold on, like he didn't get it. But if you look at the woman, she looks like she's doing the play, put him up, put him up, put him up, the put up your Dukes thing. And Ezra is giggly and giddy behind it. So I don't know if because of the way we are in society today, we're literally looking at this too deeply and making too much out of it. Like I said, like we said on Blurs, I don't know if you're looking at it too deeply. Like this don't look like a dude that just grabbed somebody's throat and applied pressure to try to really choke. Like he went softly and almost a little soft, like boom, I'm put my neck here, hands here, excuse me, and went down while she's giggling, and he has a funny tone in it. It's like it's playful. Now, I don't know if the person holding the camera thought that was the case or knew what was going on, but that whole situation, if you watch the video again, it all looks playful. Again, if it is something done in malice, by all means, he needs to be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law. That needs to be, handled. I will agree to that. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, well, then you blow in that proportion. No, if it was done with malicious intent, then absolutely take action against that. But I don't think that was the fucking case. Like, again, and I know some people are going to say, well, Jay, because you a dude. Nah, because I'm a real nigga on this show, and I don't care if it's a man or woman, however you identify. Like, yo, I'm going to call shit like it look. And that looked like two people playing. That literally looked like play fighting. Y'all already know. You come at me with the backlash to Twitter and all that shit. It is what it is. My next bit of news I got. All right, I'll talk about this one. So Amber Heard. Yeah. Queen Mara, Aquaman's Amber Heard, is facing serious jail time if she's found guilty of falsifying evidence against Johnny Depp, her ex-husband. Now, Amber Heard had said, Johnny Depp was abusive and everything, and that she was the victim in it. But we heard all these recordings that came out, that later said otherwise. Depp claims, this is one of the things I'm reading right now. Depp claims that Heard used makeup to paint on bruises after she said that he gave her two black eyes. This was ahead of an appearance on the Late Late Show with James Corden in 2015. And her stylist Samantha McMillan said, quote, throughout the day of December 16, 2015, I could see clearly that Amber Heard did not have any visible marks, bruises, or cuts or injuries to her face or other part. Yeah, because we all heard the tapes. Like, she was out here whooping his ass. You can't be whooping Captain Jack Sparrow like that, man. You can't be whooping my man from 21 Jump Street like that, man. You can't be whooping on Edward Scissorhands like that. Also, it's fucked up to do just in general. As much as I joke and play around, it's just fucked up. Because also, you tried to paint this man in the most horrible light. And because of the day and age in which we're living in, I'll call it for what it is, people just jumped. People were like, oh, Johnny Depp ain't shit. Johnny Depp ain't shit. And rightfully so. Rightfully so, people should have jumped. You know what I'm saying? Rightfully so, people should have their opinions on it. But, yo, we got to look at, there's always been said, there's two sides to every story. That's always a thing. There's always two sides to every story. And now we've seen somewhat the other side. And now she might go to jail. Currently, Depp's suing her for $50 million. Like, yeah. Now, there is this whole thing slowly. It was a slow petition about it, but it didn't gain real traction. And I can tell you why later. To have Amber Heard removed from the next Aquaman movie, Aquaman 2, nothing comes of that. Now, will she probably be removed? They're waiting to, Warner Brothers, is waiting to see the outcome of this case. Then they will go ahead and say, yeah, we can't do it. But yo, she dog walked the fuck out of Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp looks, man, Johnny Depp look like a puppy that you just want to hold. If you know this nigga's 58 with 18 bracelets on one wrist. Johnny Depp looked like it's just, hey man, it's gonna be okay. His career, yes, shouts out to IMAX who said this in the chat. His career, Depp's career suffered. Yes, his career took a major blemish. A major blemish. Because he was looked at as the worst person on history. Because we all jumped to it. And I understand that history has shown that overall men have been the biggest domestic abusers. I understand it. I will never take away the severity of that. I'll never do that shit because it'd be beneath me. But in this situation, he was always saying like, yo, I didn't do shit. Like, she beat me. Like, he didn't just say I didn't do anything. He was like, yo, I've been the victim. And of course, because of the way society is as a whole, and we keep saying that society is trying to flip on its head and look at shit differently, we was like, ain't no fucking way Johnny Depp was a victim till we heard that. And then everybody was like, well, goddamn. And Johnny Depp was a victim. It's unfortunate, is what it is. It's very unfortunate. I do hope that this is all taken care of and solidified. I hope that all this is, rectified the right way. That if now I just want to see what happens with the petition to have her removed, the outpour, the cry for the removal. I want to see how people deal with that. I really want to know, when all this is said and done, are people really going to go through and push for Warner Brothers and James Wan to drop Amber Heard? I really want to know. I mean, a lot of people will listen to this right now, and they'll be in the comments, or they'll be listening with their friends and family, and they'll be like, yo, they're going to do it. They'll definitely do it. But a lot of these things aren't done, as we know, until there's a giant social media push. It's just the way it is. So we'll have to see if that happens. I mean, again, I'm hoping for the best out of this whole situation. All right, let me think. I think that's all the freaking news. Yeah, Supergirl was supposed to come back in May. They don't know if it is just yet. So we'll see. And I think that's all the news I got as a whole. As y'all know, I've been trying to collect enough news to keep these episodes going. And again, if I got to do a 30-minute joint for y'all, I'll do it. But I wanted to take a lot of questions that were in the chat. Let me check real quick on the email and see if I got anything in the Mad Titan email, which you can send me an email, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com. And you can call the hotline. You call the hotline, 818-276-6947, 818-276-6947. Also, the StreamYards link. If you want to come in and stream in, I got about 15, 20 minutes left. If you want to come stream in, go ahead and join. I put the link in the chat. I'm sorry for those listeners who are listening. You probably will catch it later. I'm going to see what's in the chat right now. Jenna James says, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice star Jesse Eisenberg has revealed what he knows about the Snyder Cut of Justice League, explaining why he's not part of the movement supporting that version. I wonder. I'm so glad it's kind of died down. I love the fact that April 1st, there was a fake meme and everything going around telling people that Justice League was going to drop the Snyder Cut. They were going to drop the Snyder Cut of Justice League, on HBO Max during its release. And motherfuckers was losing their mind. Like, they going to do it finally. Like, yo, I think this the traction and steam it had, it's probably died out. Zack Snyder's going to keep putting shit on Vero because he clearly has stake in Vero. So yeah, I don't think that is ugh. So let me go to this question I wanted to get to that I saw earlier. It was from Jack's Packet. He says, as a fan of villains, which you are, do you think Thanos could have went a different route as opposed to universally wiping out half of existence? First of all, Jack's Packet, thank you for your question. I don't think he could. I believe that Thanos' whole thing was about balance. And the only way you could balance is to remove half of everything, every living creature. Now, in order for him to do it without the Infinity Gauntlet, which we really probably didn't want to see, is him going and murdering half of everybody like he did on Gamora's world. Just consistently going world by world and murdering half of everybody. I think he has a point, but he went about it wrong. I'm one of those people who might get a Thanos was right shirt because I get where he was going. Most villains, if y'all read comic books and watch their stories and follow stories and the characters, most comic book villains, in a sense, have a point, have a good reason why they're doing what they're doing. They just go about it in very fucked up ways, okay? Case in point, season 2 of Arrow, all right? Deathstroke, Slade Wilson's entire purpose was to make Oliver Queen suffer for letting his chick die who he didn't even get with, okay? Which I still don't think nobody brought this up. Slade Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, I sound like a reverend right now. Slade Wilson was upset at Oliver Queen because Oliver let the woman he loved die, and the woman he loved didn't give a damn about him. So yeah, she cradled and caressed him when his shit got burnt up. But that's what a good human would do. It means she loved that man in the making. He loved her, and then he was seeing all types of shit. But yeah. So Andrew Edwardson says, "Hey Jay, huge fan of Big Question. What makes MODOK so interesting? I've heard of him, but I don't think he's that interesting." Well, I think the humor element, and again, if you ever watch the old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, Krang, it's like the Krang element. MODOK is a genius melded with technology, and working with Doom and working with a bunch of other villains we see in the Marvel universe. And I think it plays to the bigger factor of if Doom is the new big bad throughout this next story arc in the MCU. So I think that is the case. Perp Minded says, Europe J Salute 100. Have you checked out any content on Quibi? Unfortunately, I have not. I don't know if I want to grab Quibi yet or whatnot. All right. Joseph Ashley asked a question. I figure I'm going to answer this one. Is Bane smarter than the Riddler? That is a very, very good question. When you think about it, now, Bane is portrayed in the Harley Quinn animated series kind of as an idiot. But other versions of Bane, The Dark Knight Rises, other comic book versions and iterations of Bane have told you he's a genius. He just is treated like a brute. Edward Nygma is a genius in his own right, but his thing is done through, is done through questions and riddles. That is a damn good question. Is Bane smarter than the Riddler? You know what? At the end of the day, I think I'd have to really do some research on that one. I'd have to really sit back and literally break down the genius levels for both of those, because damn, that's a good question. Damn. Is Bane smarter than the Riddler? And you really got to think about it, because some people will just go, yeah, Riddler's smarter. Or some people go, no, because, yeah, they'll be like, no, the Riddler's smarter. And like, you got to really think about that for a minute. All right. Jenna James says, No Neck Ed should play MODOK. That's fucking hysterical. All right. So, I think that's about all I got. I mean, I don't have to go a full hour. I just wanted to make sure I got enough out here with you guys. Oh, I got one more from Jerry Miller. Hold on. Jerry Miller says, do you think they should have brought Wayne Brady back for Black Lightning season 3? What do you mean? He was in Black Lightning season 3. I don't get it. Do you mean season 4? Do you mean bring him back for the next season? Because he became the main big bad in season 3. So if you mean season 4, do they bring him back? I absolutely believe they do. I do believe he comes back. I don't think he's the big bad, but I think he does come back for a fact. All right. So yeah, season 4. I was like, season 3, like, yo, it's, by the way, let me sip on my bubbly first. Shouts out to Bubbly. They need to go ahead and sponsor you, boy. I drink a lot of sparkling water, y'all, because I gave up pop. I'm from Chicago. I say pop. You kiss my ass if you say soda. I say pop. All right. But fuck, I just lost my train of thought that quick. I lost my train of thought. Like, what the fuck I was about to say? Anyway. Oh yeah. Black Lightning has dropped season 3 on Netflix, of course, after the season ended. And now everybody all of a sudden is like, yo, Black Lightning is so dope. I seen my homegirl, Demi Lobo. She's a radio personality out here. Me and I know each other from Chicago. She's like, yo, Odell ain't shit. And they made Khalil kill his moms, excuse me. Which, by the way, spoiler alert, season's been done for a minute. Yeah, time to binge watch. But it's crazy because now it's like, this is a show that's been on. You could have watched this on the CW app the next Tuesday, starting the next Tuesday of every week. Like, this is a show that's been on. And again, a lot of people will go, well, Jay, they'll be like, yo, Jay, you're just gonna, you're just gonna go, gonna stand for it and cap for it because you rock with the show. Like, you cool, you like family to them. You're on the set, the cast, the directors, the showrunner. Like, you're just writers. You're gonna cap for them because that, like, no. First of all, so for people who are new here, come on in the conversation real quick. Let me tell you some people new here. I've been blessed to meet a lot of great people throughout my life, to do a lot of dope things thus far in my career. And one of the things that has made me connect with all these people that I know is that I keep shit real. Now, I understand Dave Chappelle did a thing when keeping it real goes wrong. I'm trying to keep it right. One of the things I've done when it comes to especially the comic book TV shows and movies, stuff that I love, I'm a fan of, and I talk about to people, you know, so just want to kick it. It's like, yo, if I feel like you should have did something a different way or something should have been done this way, unless I don't know where it's going, I'm going to say something, but I'm not going to just shit on it. So I'm going to tell them if stuff is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to always just back it. But anyway, people should have watched the goddamn series when it was, all right? So I'm going to get ready to get up out of here. But before I go, again, please send all your emails in. If you want to email me, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to support as well, you can either become a member of the Supervillain Squad on Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I'm going to tell you about my patrons in a second. I just dropped up 2 of the interviews I did at Comic-Con with the cast of Pennyworth. So they are up there, as well as a nice long stand-up video of myself up there, all right? But make sure you do that, all right? And speaking of my Supervillain Squad, thank you to all the members of the squad. I love y'all and appreciate y'all so much. Shout out to my newest members, Christopher Conley, Jake Icavetta, to my existing members, Adelia Chamberlain, Alberto Rios, Akeem J. Brown, AZ Badfish, Blue 87 Jones, Brandon Buckingham, California Joe, Kasi Nachalobe, David Adams, DJ Snacks, Fanboy Cantina, Fred Castillo, Greg Morshig, Hank Staley, James Smart, Jeffrey Chadoran, Jim Mason, John Mariano, LK, Marcus Kennedy, Marcus Birdie, Mikey Lito, Paisley Darts, Randy Costas, who I saw in the chat earlier was happening, Rudy Rueda, who was in earlier as well, Samantha 5, Steve Tozer, and the Prince that wasn't promised. Again, all the stuff I put up on the Patreon is up there right now. All it takes is a $5 donation, or if you want to help out, streamlabs.com/JAY-Washington80. All right. You already know the drill. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington if you're watching this. God damn it, it's right there in your face. You told you about the Patreon, the YouTube channel while you're listening. If you're listening to it, follow me on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/JAY-Washington80. Winston A. Marshall and I are back weekly reviewing Harley Quinn on the DC Universe. Episode 2 dropped, and we dropped a review for that. We'll have episode 3s coming up because I got to watch the episode. I'm going to watch it tonight once I'm done with all this. What else is there for that? My Educated Standard Area News and a bunch of other stuff is coming up there, and I go live sometimes to hang with the people and to kick it and chill with y'all. We might talk nerd shit or we might talk straight up, so you already know what you're going to get. Also, speaking of which, check out Blurs in the Hood with myself and Winston A. Marshall. We do it live every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. on the East Coast, man. Go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/BLERDS, the letter N, THEHOOD, Blurs in the Hood. We have a lot of fun with our show over there. We got a bunch of guests coming on. I'm trying to get some guests for this week. So since a lot of people at home ain't doing shit, like, come on, jump in this convo with your boy. Thank you for everybody. To everybody who has been in this chat with me as I recorded this. Thank you to everybody who has watched along, everyone who has contributed. Thank you, Keenan Wills, for the Cash App donation. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you again, Chi-Town Pyro, Alberto Rios. I appreciate you. Everybody who supports, everybody who retweets, everybody who, gives a lot of love. I know I sound like I'm on a radio show to a lot of y'all through your headphones right now. I know I'm like, y'all like, what radio station I dial into? Hey, I did radio for 4 years. So, when it comes to doing this, I have fun. I love doing it. I love talking about this stuff. I love being a nerd and having you and Nerd Soul should do a joint show. Well, here's the thing. Tell Mike whenever he's ready, I'm fine to doing it. Mike be on all of the bullshit. Okay. I know Mike got the baby. Tell Mike, let's go. I tell everybody, look, I got time right about now. Granted, I'm trying to work and keep myself busy, but I got some time to do these collabs and work with these people that y'all want me to work with and be on streams with and talk with and have them talk with me. Like, I'm no stranger to it at all. I'm game. Let's go. But thank you to you all. I'm finna get up out of here. I will holler at you guys next week. Till then, take care. I'm out of here. Peace.
I ignored my destiny once. I cannot do that again. Even